A.D. Hope, Alec Derwent Hope. A.D. Hope's poem Australia is a pretty difficult poem actually, because unlike his other poems like Standardization or The Death of a Bird, the imagery, the expressions, symbols in the poem Australia are pretty complex. That's why there have been multiple interpretations of this, and I think most of the or many of the interpreters have missed the main point. They have often interpreted it as a critique of or negation of Australia, which it is not actually. He is, raising those points about Australia, its so called uh, dullness, desert, forests, etc. Of course, we have to keep in mind he's talking about, say, pre colonial or early colonial Australia through these images. He is raising this to counter this. And in the process, finally, he even rejects our idea of civilization. What is human civilization? As you may call Australia, obviously, you have to keep in mind the Aboriginal Australia here. And incidentally, Australia won yesterday, the team of Australia, the World Cup thing. So now, and I am also teaching this poem currently to my students. Now, Australia, the poem, if we look at the say second stanza, they call her a young country, but they lie. She is the last of lands, the emptiest. A woman beyond her change of life, of breast, till tender, but within the womb is dry. That is, they, who the colonizers actually, the Europeans, is to call Australia a young country. There was a concept called terra nullius related to Australia and a few other places. That is empty land, literally. Terra, land, nullia, empty. Wherever the colonizers saw, people who did not exist in their eyes, not powerful as they were, or they always thought that it was an empty land for them to be occupied. So, and then those were thought to be new countries, but the poet here, or the narrator, whichever way you like it, is countering that idea. No, Australia is not a young country, it's very old. So, in fact, the suggestion or insinuation is that it is from Australia that all cultures may have been born. That is why it is now compared to a woman past her age of fecundity. That is, woman, with after menopause. Just as we talk about Afrocentric approaches, origin of life in Africa, Asia-centric approaches, I think in this poem is trying to posit Australia as the origin of civilizations and culture, and after being the origin, it has lost its glory. That is the interpretation which is more valid. It is clearer if we look at the second stanza. Without songs, architecture, and history, the emotions and superstitions of younger lands. Yes, Australia did not have songs, architecture like Asian countries or Europe, history. History was a major point of debate. During colonial rule, everywhere Europeans said they had history we didn't have, whether in Australia, India or Africa or Australia, anyway. So, what? Yes, she does not have songs, architecture, or history. But if you look at the next line, what are these according to the poet? The emotions and superstitions of younger lands. So he's calling all our, you know, this cultural or even so scientific, academic achievements as emotions and superstitions. And then I will not interpret the whole poem, but then because something should be left to the readers. Now, these are the keys that I'm trying to give. And in fact, yet in another stanza, one, two, three, four, sixth stanza, for example, lush jungle of modern thought. Modern thought, modernity is the jungle proper, not Australian jungle. So much complex, modern life. Critique of modernism or even modernity, not modernism as such, modernity, we can say. Also, it includes critique of colonial exploitation of Australia, and her five, look at the, three, four, fifth stanza, and her five cities like five teeming sores, each drains her, a vast parasite robber state where second-hand Europeans pullulate timidly on the edge of alien shores. And towards the end, that he thinks that perchance finally from the Australian aridity desert will come a spirit which will make people survive. Such uh, some spirit which escapes the learned doubt, the chatter of cultured apes, which is called civilization over there. The doubt which since Descartes in the Western thought, rationalism, rationality, Darwin, let us say from Renaissance to Stephen Hawking, have been all taught to be skeptical, increasingly being, you know, out of the domain of faith and all that. But sometimes only rationality is so taxing, it breaks us. So that is why some spirit, some faith, something is needed to escape this learned doubt. So it says some spirit will, may emerge from this land which escapes the learned doubt, the chatter of cultured apes, which is called civilization over there. So people, other people, what they call civilization, that is what we call civilization, is according to the poet, chatter of cultured apes. Humans are apes, but cultured apes. This is the poet's view, and he is actually representing in a way the aboriginal Australians view towards modernity, modern men or non-Australian men, European men and women, humanity, let us say, so on and so forth. So I think now you can have yet another look at the poem from this angle. Do not be misled by online materials. I have checked, most of which says that it is an indictment of Australia. No, it is not. It is rather a canonization of Australia in a different way. Thank you so much.